Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. One Chicago has two more crossover cameos set for 2025, and we know who they are. One Chicago has always thrived on its interconnectedness. Part of the fun of watching three separate shows set in the Windy City is seeing how each of them interact, and how characters from different walks of life and professions help each other in the name of justice. We saw a prime example of this during the three-part One Chicago crossover in January. Don't worry though, because One Chicago is not done intermingling characters. Despite there only being 3 more episodes of Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, and Chicago PD, the franchise has made it clear that they plan to execute at least 2 more crossovers, both of which will take place between Fire and Med. The first will be obvious to anyone who watched the promo for the May 7 episode of Chicago Fire. Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo, and Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, rush to the hospital when they learn the child they plan to adopt is about to be born. Only problem is the woman giving birth experiences complications and a C-section has to be performed. Fortunately, Chicago Med's Dr. Hannah Asher, Jesse Schramm, is on hand to oversee the procedure. Asher has only appeared in 2 Chicago Fire episodes prior to Cut Me Open. The first was in season 11, the episode Never Ever Make a Mistake, and the second was during the crossover we alluded to back in January. The character has already been through a lot in Med Season 10, but we're hopeful that she can put her talents to use and ensure the health of both the woman and the newborn child. The other crossover cameo turns the tables. Instead of a Med character appearing on Fire, we will see a Fire character pop up at Gaffney Medical Center. Lizzie Novak, Jocelyn Houdin, the medic who has managed to win over just about every viewer since she debuted in 2024, will be on hand during Med's season finale, Out of Your Control. She goes on Chicago Med. She's in the Chicago Med finale, Houdin recently told Us Weekly. She just happens to pop up. The actress might be playing coy with the specifics of her cameo role, but we have a creeping suspicion that her cameo may correlate with the fate of one of the Chicago Fire characters, who are set to leave at the end of the season. The One Chicago universe just keeps getting bigger, and 2025 is already shaping up to be one for the record books. After months of speculation, insiders have confirmed that 2 major crossover cameos are officially locked in for next season's ambitious One Chicago event. And trust us, fans are going to lose their minds when they see who's walking back into town. First up, Yaya DaCosta returns as April Sexton. That's right, after leaving Chicago Med to pursue her medical dreams elsewhere, April Sexton is set to make a triumphant return to the Windy City. Sources say Yaya DaCosta has signed on for a multi-episode arc across Chicago Med and Chicago Fire, weaving her back into the fabric of Gaffney Chicago Medical Center, and stirring up some complicated emotions along the way. Apparently, April's return is triggered by a mass casualty event. Think a high-rise collapse that rattles the entire city, and she's called back home to assist during the emergency. But this isn't just a fly-in, fly-out mission. Insiders tease that April's heart never fully left Chicago, and neither did her feelings for a certain someone. Yes, we're talking about Dr. Ethan Choi. Even though Choi left Chicago Med to run a mobile clinic with April by his side, in an off-screen happy ending, the writers are hinting that something big has shifted. Rumor has it that April and Ethan have hit a rough patch. Her cameo isn't just about saving lives, it's about saving herself too. Expect intense scenes between April and some of the newer doctors, particularly Dr. Charles, who will act as a sounding board as she questions whether she made the right choices in love and life. And get this, sources confirm that April will also appear in an episode of Chicago Fire, teaming up with paramedics Violet McCamey and Sylvie Brett during an on-scene rescue. The crossover feels organic, heartfelt, and totally One Chicago. Second, Jesse Lee Soffer returns as Jay Halstead. Cue the dramatic music. Jay Halstead is coming home. After stepping away from Chicago PD in Season 10, fans have long clamored for Jesse Lee Soffer to make even a fleeting return. 2025 will grant that wish. Word is, Soffer's comeback will happen during a Chicago PD 2-part event that also bleeds into Chicago Fire. The storyline? Jay is undercover, very undercover. According to early leaks, Halstead has been working deep cover for an elite government task force, tracking a domestic terror cell operating out of the Midwest. But when the group sets its sights on first responders, targeting firehouses and hospitals alike, Jay has no choice but to break cover and warn his former team. Expect a raw, emotional reunion between Jay and Voight, who has spent months grappling with the fallout of losing yet another son. There's also buzz that Halstead's surprise reappearance will put a huge strain on Haley Upton, who has been battling guilt, grief, and anger since he left without a real goodbye. The stakes? Absolutely lethal. Jay's mission could cost him everything, and according to a source close to production, Soffer's cameo isn't just a warm, fuzzy nod to longtime fans. It's gritty, dangerous, and carries real consequences for the intelligence unit moving forward. And it doesn't stop there. Jay will reportedly cross paths with Kelly Severide during a joint task force operation. The two alphas working together under pressure, that's a one Chicago dream team if we ever heard one. More surprises on the horizon. While April and Jay's returns are the headline makers, showrunners are playing coy about whether more cameos could sneak into the event. Let's just say, teased Chicago Med EP Andrew Schneider during a recent panel. One Chicago is all about family. And sometimes family shows up when you least expect it. Could that mean appearances from favorites like Matt Casey, Natalie Manning, or even Antonio Dawson? No one's confirming, but fan speculation is running wild. A love letter to the fans. The decision to bring back these two beloved characters wasn't taken lightly. Behind the scenes, sources say there was enormous respect for the way April and Jay's original departures were handled, and equal care is being taken to make their returns feel earned, not gimmicky. It's a love letter to the fans who have stuck with us through everything, said Chicago Fire showrunner Andrew Newman. The losses, the wins, the heartbreaks. We know how much these characters mean to you. They mean a lot to us too. Both DaCosta and Soffer were reportedly all in from the moment they were approached. Filming for their arcs has already begun, with DaCosta spotted on set outside Chicago Med's familiar facade, and Soffer photographed in a stealthy, nondescript jacket that screams undercover op. When to watch? Mark your calendars. The major One Chicago crossover event, unofficially titled One Chicago, Line of Fire, is set to kick off in late February 2025, culminating in a dramatic 3-hour television event spanning Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and Chicago PD. If history has taught us anything, these crossovers don't just deliver action and suspense, they reshape the One Chicago landscape for months, sometimes years, afterward. Don't expect everything to be wrapped up neatly with a bow either. Word is some storylines will linger deep into the spring finals. Final thoughts. Seeing April Sexton scrub back in and Jay Halstead return to his badge-wielding roots feels like the emotional boost One Chicago fans have been craving. 2025 is promising reunions, reckonings, and real risks. And frankly, we wouldn't have it any other way. Get ready. The family's coming home.